Zoe Kens here. I'm accompanied by the lovely Grace Duffy today, who works with Restream. I'm super excited to be bringing her on the show. You're listening to the Trust Show, the social media show with me, Zoe Kens, and our guests, and I'm super excited to be here today. We are streaming out across all of our channels for a change, and it's really great because we're using an amazing piece of software called Restream, which we'll be talking to you about as well. So super excited about that. But tonight is all about engaging with Facebook Live and how you do that. If you've not used Facebook Live before, you've not used the other platforms and streaming live, tonight is all about finding out about that. And if you're listening to the replay or you're watching the replay, you'll certainly learn too. So Grace, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you here. It's brilliant to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me on, Zoe. I'm glad we could find a time that worked out for both of us being on opposite sides of the world and all.
I know, it's great. And what time is it there for you in where you are?
Oh, it's noon. I'm in Dallas. I'm in Texas, Texas. And Restream's headquarters in Austin, so I work remotely from there. But it's about noon.
Yeah, it's just coming up to 6:30 here. But yeah, no, it's great to have you here. And I'm so pleased you're able to find the time because I know how busy you guys are and how fab the software is as well. So I'm super excited to have you here. Now, Grace, do you want to tell everyone about yourself and what you do?
Sure. I am the, excuse me, I'm the video content manager at Restream. If you're not familiar with Restream, it is a live streaming platform that allows you to go to over 30 online destinations all at once, multi-streaming. It helps you create a fully branded professional live streaming experience, much like we are broadcasting right now. I also look after our involvement in industry events, both big and small, so like conferences, webinars. And then I also have the distinct pleasure of managing a phenomenal lineup of live streaming hosts and experts on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page. They put on shows almost every day of the week on the topic of live streaming, everything from how to get started, how to use it for your business, how to be confident on camera, and also, ways that you can repurpose, how to create graphics for it. So it's a little bit of my background. And I also co-host and produce a show on social media marketing called Social Media News Live. It broadcasts on Friday morning. So it would be 10 a.m. my time, which I think that might be 4 or 5 p.m. your time of where you are.
It's around 4 or 5.
Yep. So, and the focus of that show is basically to keep you up to date on everything happening in the world of social media marketing.
Yeah, I love that show. Yeah, I think it's around 5 or 6 for us here in the UK. And yeah, no, it's a brilliant show. Love watching it on that. Always find out the top nuggets of what's going on in social media.
Thank you.
So how long you been doing lives, Grace? So how long you been going live on Facebook and LinkedIn and
Oh my gosh. It felt like it was terrifying at first because I didn't actually want to do it. I was a behind the scenes producer. I created the content. I did the show run. And then one day my employer at the time was just like, well, we need a new host. You need to go on there. And I said, do I have a choice? And they said, no.
I love that.
So I just basically buckled in, got myself a pair of really gnarly earpieces and got a camera and started going live. I won't lie. It was very terrifying at first, but then I just started loving it. I started loving talking to the audience. And I've always been so lucky to have really great co-hosts, really amazing guests. And so I never really had to do it on my own. So I should give credit to the amazing people that I've had supporting me both on camera and on the other side of the camera too.
Because I think so many people want to go live, don't they? I remember when it first said to me on my Facebook profile, you can now go live. And I was like, oh, what's this new feature? And I went live and I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. But after I thought about it, I thought, God, you just went out live. You could have been in any situation. But I think unless you put yourself out there and you just give it a try, I think sometimes it can be a little bit daunting. And it's sort of like the unknown. What if I do something wrong? But I think, that's what it's all about. It's about people learning about you and what you do and your personality and really just being the person behind your profile, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think no one really expects a CNN or a BBC type broadcast, right? they know that you're doing this. They know that you're doing it remotely. And it's that uniqueness, that authenticity, the fact that they get to hear your voice and see the look in your eyes and see that weird thing that you do with your hands or whatever I do with my hands, right?
Yeah.
That it makes them feel closer to you and it helps you build trust and credibility, especially as if you're running a business or you're an entrepreneur and you want people to
Yeah.
get to know you, it is the fastest, easiest way for people to really get to know you.
Yeah, I agree with you. I love it that you can start to really understand who the person is behind the brand. They can bring their knowledge to the forefront. They can educate, entertain you. It's definitely the way forward. And lives have been out for I think they must have been around on Facebook for 3 or 4 years now, I'm sure. And
They launched August of 2015.
yeah, wow, that's 6 years ago. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy how quick that time's gone. And now, obviously, LinkedIn, we can go live, Twitter on Periscope, and now I think they're doing it independently, and
Right.
Instagram, we can go live, and YouTube, right? We can go live on
Right.
there as well. I love
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. Yeah,
What's your,
absolutely.
what's
There's
your favorite platform to go live on, Grace?
Oh, well, so for the show that I produce and co-host, we go live to Facebook,
Yeah.
YouTube, LinkedIn, and then Amazon Live,
Oh,
actually. So
wow.
yeah, Amazon Live is very interesting because we don't sell any products on
No.
our show, right? But we'll have a guest, and if they wrote a book, we'll put the book on there. We'll put a book in our lineup, and you have to have certain criteria. You have to sign up for the creator account and
Yeah.
set it up, and then we do have to do some weird things on the technical
Yeah.
side to get
Yeah.
it to work. But it has been really amazing, and the more that you go live, the more places you show up, and
Wow.
we've done really well there, surprisingly, for just a talk show about social media marketing. So that
That's
has been
really
the most interesting. I think the place I get the most longevity on the lives is like LinkedIn. So I'll get comments
yeah.
weeks later on like
Yeah, yeah.
and then I feel like on Facebook, like you go live and it just kind of goes away, or
Yeah.
you can of course you should repurpose it and everything,
Yeah.
but I think for like longevity, especially evergreen content, I like doing it on LinkedIn. It's very unique. I know not everyone has LinkedIn Live. It's really, but
Yeah.
if you do, try it, do it. It's worthwhile. And I get a lot of deeper interaction there, especially because I think we focus more on business topics.
Yeah, and I found a bit of a loophole with the LinkedIn Live. For weeks,
Really?
I applied for through the application, and it still hadn't come back. And then they said you've not been lucky. And then I reached out to them on Twitter and
Hmm.
just messaged him saying, I've put through a few applications for LinkedIn Live, and within a couple of days, they said it'd be active on your account within 5 to 7 days, and it was there. It was fantastic. So I think if they can see that you're actively going on the other platforms going live, and they can see
Right.
that you're giving great content,
Right.
maybe reach out. If anyone hasn't got it yet, reach out on LinkedIn Live, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. And it also helps to produce a lot of content on
Yeah,
LinkedIn, like a lot of interaction, post things, post interesting articles. So
yeah.
I also think it helps if they see that you're actually active on LinkedIn and you're an active contributing member to the community. It encourages them to give you LinkedIn Live.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I love live. I prefer going live than writing out a long post, as I like to interact with people. I find live really allows you to interact and have some amazing conversations. But Grace, the one thing I always get asked is what should I do when I go live? What structure shall I put together? How should I, do my show? Or, it's almost like a TV show, right? Where you have sort of like a set structure. Have you
Yes.
have you got any ideas you want to share with people around that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think before you go live, before you even touch the camera, get a microphone, ask yourself why. Why are you going live? What is the value? Who are you trying to reach? And what is it they're going to get from your show? Right. So when you've answered those three questions, you've already created the format for your show.
Yeah.
You know what you're going to talk about, your purpose in being there, and you know who you try to reach, right? As far as creating we call it a run of show. So as far as creating a format, I follow three main parts. There's your intro, where you talk to your audience, you greet your audience, you say, why are they there? What
Yeah.
are they going to get out of it, right? You introduce your guest, just like you did just
Yeah.
now, right? And what exactly are your audience members going to get for your time? But because why else are we here except for your
Yeah.
audience, right? To
Yeah.
provide value. Excuse me, I just hit my mic. Um, And then after that, you talk about your sponsors, of course, and then you talk about the meat of the show. And I like to do things in three parts, right? So, what are the three top takeaways they're going to get? And those are your three parts of the show. And then, as you're hitting each of those, you go back to say, "Hey, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to Grace Duffy, and we're talking about live streaming, and we're going to talk about, and right now we're talking about this and this and that, right?" So you reiterate why each time. And then you just allow that time to showcase your guest or whatever the topic is, or what is it that you want to show them or teach them, right?
Yeah.
And then the close is the thank you, the audience, and then most importantly, the call to action.
Yeah.
What is it that you want them to do next? Do you want them to tune in again? Do you want them to go to this? Do you want them to go to that? Do you want them to sign up for a private webinar where, you do more of a tech demo for them? I mean, so those are really the three parts of it. And I mean, any length of show. So, decide on the length of your show. So 25 minutes, 45 minutes are usually pretty good. A lot of shows I'm on are usually an hour. And then I like to put a time limit on each of those because I tend to get lost in whatever I'm talking about and forget we've got 5 more things to get to. And my co-host Jeff is very good about that. He'll be like, "Okay, Grace, we got 5 more things to get to. Like, let's move on." So, yeah, I used to think that people would just go live on anything, any platform, right? And would just start talking. And as I've worked with some of the best, the smartest, brightest, most brilliant stars in live, and when it comes to live streaming, every single one of them comes on with a plan, and they make it look like they're just turned on the camera and started talking to you.
Yeah, and they're so good at it as well, aren't they? And the way they talk to people. Like for me, it's also looking at the camera. I find it really challenging to keep looking straight at the camera. Like you're looking at them, my eyes end up going everywhere, and I find it really hard to really focus on that one point. But I think when you start to learn and you start to get grips with it, you just go with the flow. I love that. I love the structure you've put there. And you know what's maybe better in terms of the structure, Grace, and you may have used this a few times, is Clubhouse. When you reset the room, when you reset the room and you let others know. So any of you coming in now, if you're just about watching our live, whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, we are live with the lovely Grace Duffy who works with Restream. It's a privilege to have her here today. If you are listening, please do say hi. Let us know where you're from. And if you're listening to the podcast afterwards on replay, you can go and watch the video over on our Facebook page, so you can go and check out the video as well. So Grace, some really good tips there in structure. Now, lots of people always say to me, "I'm really not ready for live streaming." And they say about their confidence and they're not too sure, where to get started or taking those first initial steps, or whether they're going to do something wrong. And I always say to them, it's about, just giving it a try, making sure you're prepared, like with the structure, like you've just mentioned. But do you have any tips when it comes to confidence? Because you mentioned that you was a little bit nervous when you first started to do lives, but you had that great support. So it'd be really interesting to hear about that confidence part.
Well, it really helps for me mentally to confine myself to a time. Like I know that, okay, I only have to do this for an hour. I have to sit here for an hour. I got to sit here for 20 minutes, right? I think spending the time it takes to prepare and really think about what you want to say. Prior to the show, you sent me the questions you wanted to, or the topics, right? Yeah. And then I took some time yesterday evening to just really drill down, like, what do I want to say? How do I, what do I want? And just taking that time, those mental little mental touch points, right? Yeah. And then I think that also giving yourself time to prepare, right? So I like to take the time to do my hair and makeup before going on camera. And that's just a little time of just like getting myself in the mindset of, right? Like I couldn't really do this going from like a meeting to this and then something else. Although I did do that today, but I was really prepared because you'd sent me everything ahead of time. So I felt comfortable doing that. I think it also helps to go live with a friend.
Yeah. To
go live.
When you feel comfortable as well, right?
Yeah. Or even if it's like, and then practice. I think practicing, I like to tell people to practice in a private group. There's a lot of different groups. If you're interested in live video, there's a lot of different groups that allow you to practice. Right? To allow you to go live in there and people watch you and they'll be like, they'll help you work through all those hiccups. And the first time you do it, it's going to be nerve-wracking, just like doing anything else. And you're just going to have to keep at it, but just keep challenging yourself. And then And then I think preparing for tech hiccups. I'm most nervous about a tech hiccup
Yeah,
happening, right?
yeah.
Like, and I've already told all of my co-hosts a little bit of humor. I'll just say, like, if anything goes wrong, I'm just going to play dead, and you're going to have to carry the show. Sorry, you know.
No, that's good. That's good.
But
You've
you
got
know,
that
like,
back up.
so. And then I think the biggest tip I have is to just love yourself, right? I've never done anything well that started a place of like, oh, I hate my voice or I hate the way that I look,
Yeah.
because let me tell you what, like everyone that has ever known you and has really cared about you has heard
Yeah.
your voice.
Yeah, and that's so true. Not everyone's going to like you either, right? You know, the
Yeah.
people online, and those people that really want to listen to you will really gravitate towards you. And you know what, Grace? I don't know what you think about this. I know I didn't give this question to you, but now they're doing audio only based lives on Instagram, and
Mhm.
we're going to have audio based rooms on Facebook. And I've also almost been saying to my mentees, you know, this would be a really good opportunity for you to go live, but just with your voice to start with, that then you can open up the camera when you're ready. Although I want to say to them, just go for it and just go right in. But it could give them another opportunity to just take it to that next step. I don't know what you think about that with audio-based opportunities.
I think there's a lot of ways that you can show up. The audio, social audio has exploded, especially this
Yeah,
past year as people have, not been able to go out as much. And so I think that is a very interesting and unique way to go live.
yeah,
I always just say, jump in, just do it. It'll be fine.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I talk about all the ways that I've like messed up, said the wrong thing. But here's the thing. You go live and then you have the video and you can edit it.
Yeah, so true. And you don't
So
have to put it to your profile, right? You can also say now you've got the opportunity to take it down if you don't want it there. And I love the way you say about repurposing as well. It's a great opportunity for content.
absolutely. And there's I know Molly Mahoney, and then Luria Petrucci. You can find them online. They're everywhere. Those are two rock star women that do training classes. I know Luria does one specifically for women, helping them be confident on live. So if you are feeling like, oh, I really want to do this, oh, but like this, I would recommend searching those two people out and looking at their programs to help you, overcome some of those challenges you might have. And then I just say that after going live, there is that initial butterflies, but
Yeah,
once we start talking about a topic, once we start talking about something I really care about, once I start talking to someone I really care about, then that becomes my focus. And I even forget that I'm on camera.
yeah. Or you've been recorded or you're live.
Yeah, to the point where like, we do a lot of like sliding in and out. So my co-host will see that I'm like coughing or I'm like whatever, because I forget that I'm on camera or whatever. So
But that's what it's about, just being relaxed and
Mhm.
just being yourself. I love that. Now, Grace, lots of people always say to me, you know, when I go live, what about if no one's watching? You know, how do I get maximum exposure for my live? And you know, I started to experiment. I don't know if you've probably used this anyway with Facebook, where you can schedule an event through
Mhm.
Facebook and then go live. So actually, all your friends or the people that like your page get invited to come along
Mhm.
to that live. And I think that really does
Oh
increase
yeah.
the exposure. Now, I want us to talk about, you know, the tool that you work with in terms
Mhm.
of, you know, live streaming, because I think it's fantastic. And there's lots of different tools out there that do this, but in particular, we really want to talk about Restream tonight. So, you know, can you give a few tips about building building the awareness of your live, but also the available tools like Restream?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So with Restream, you can schedule your show up to a week ahead of time. I think the week is the limit because of certain platforms. And it
Yeah,
does allow you to go live to over 30 platforms. So the main ones, of course, are Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and then, and then you could use our TMP, connections to go to like Amazon Live, which is
yeah,
what I was talking about earlier. And so having that opportunity, and once you schedule the link, you
yeah.
have that opportunity to then take that link and use it in your email campaigns, use it in your social media promotions, everything leading up to the show and getting the maximum promotion out there, right? Giving it all also the ability to go live to multiple platforms all at once.
Yeah,
All I had to do to go live on my own channels was you shared the link with me and then I toggled
yeah,
the channels that I want to go to. So in addition to going to your your channels, I'm also going to mine, my Facebook page and my LinkedIn account. And so you are giving multiple people, you're giving people multiple ways to find you. So you're essentially being in the places where they're at. With Restream, you can go to multiple on our professional account. You can go to multiple Facebook pages, multiple Facebook groups, multiple YouTube accounts. Right. So when you have a guest on, you can go live to their channels as well, their groups, their communities, and they're exposing you to a whole new audience. And so that's a good way to do that. A big thing is you may not get a lot of visitors at first, and that's okay. Right. Because I tend to, you talked about, we're using this content for a podcast. And, we're also going live. And so, you're using this content anyway. So even if no one shows up, you still have your guest. You're still creating this wonderful content that you'd be creating anyway. We just happen to add the bonus of going live on video. So now you can see it, right? So definitely repurposing your content. But then when you do get audience members, we've gotten to the point now where we're having a lot of repeat audience members. And so we engage with the audience. We give them the opportunity. In fact, we get a little sad when they don't show up. And we not only, so we just empower them. And you can do that with Restream's chat features, because it brings in all the chats into one into the dashboard, right? And so you can see them all at once. Oh, so happy to call the show today. That's my friend Lisa. Yeah. So, and you can bring them in and bring them on camera. You can just like what I did, hey, Lisa, thanks for joining us today. I'm really glad you're here. And when people feel welcome, when they feel like they're part of the conversation, when you're answering their questions about Facebook, about Instagram, about TikTok or whatever, they're going to want to keep coming back, right? Because they get to be part of the show. So those are my tips for, getting the more of that engagement, getting the promotion. The more people, more times you do it, the more opportunities. You're talking about social audio. So something that we've experimented with is after we've gone live, we'll then go on Clubhouse or we'll go on Twitter Spaces and continue the conversation, right? We haven't done that very much since then, but there's a lot of different ways to use all of the social media opportunities to bring attention to your message.
I love that. And I love the fact that it allows you to bring in the conversation from each platform, because some people say, oh, you're going to go live across multiple channels, but how do you keep up with all the chat? Have you got to have all the windows open? I said, no, it comes through in one chat. It's just absolutely amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And what's cool about it is, we have a chat overlay feature, which you can have the chat on screen. And so So someone watching on YouTube, you have it. So someone watching on YouTube can then see what people in Facebook are saying, right? And it becomes more of a conversation. So
and that's new, right?
Yes, I think it was rolled out fairly recently. It's a really cool feature. So I don't always like having it on screen all the time because I like to feature my guest, but it is really cool, especially when you're getting that a bunch of questions and then.
It's really good. I just had Travis come in. He says, finally catching you live. Loving it. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. How nice is that?
So Travis is one of our hosts on our YouTube channel, and he talks all about producing a live show. So catch his show on Thursday afternoons, or catch the replay on YouTube or on LinkedIn. And he's brilliant. I love him.
Oh, brilliant. And we've got the lovely Karen coming in as well. Karen's part of my Growth Academy community. So hi, Karen. It's lovely to see you in here. And then Travis has just said, love the chat overlay. Hello, world. Love
Yep.
I love it. I love engaging. I love live. I just feel like it's like having your own TV show, the show that you've always wanted, where you want to bring your own content, your own knowledge, or your own perfect guests. And that's what I love about it. You can choose your guests to come on. You can have your own show. I just think it's so powerful. So Grace, what's your favorite feature on Restream? It would
have to be the chat overlay. I love talking to people. I am an introvert or extrovert with a capital E. So I love talking to people. So the live chat management is my favorite. I love that you can create a fully branded live video experience. Not everyone can be a video producer. Not everyone can be an amazing graphic designer. I mean, it's amazing if you are. I am not.
Yeah.
So I like that in Restream, you can create your own brand colors, you can create your overlays, you can add your logo, and with a few clicks, you have this fully branded experience. You have your brand colors, you have your, you can bring in the chats, you can bring in the captions, so you can store up to 30 captions in there. So I'll store things that I talk about all the time. So like where to find us, our YouTube channel, where to find me, my LinkedIn account, right? So I do like that. I like the ability that with Pro account and Hire, it automatically records your videos, right? So you don't even have to add this mega setup, right, of having to record it separately. It automatically records it, and then it downloads it as a full video, just the audio if you want to release it as a podcast, or split audio tracks. So as is often the case, like there'll be a guest who's louder than the other one, or in my case, like my neighbor will be putting in a new roof next to my studio. And so you have that ability to edit just one audio track, right? Or make it quieter as things go on. And then I like the ability of you can upload pre-recorded video, and
that is a really good feature, right? Like if you want to put an ad, not an advert, but if you want to showcase a video, or you want to share like a testimonial, or it could even be a product launch video. I just think that that's such a great opportunity to being able to bring a video in. Or what we've done before is actually we've got the person couldn't make it live, so we got the pre-recording and brought that in that way. So that's a really great feature, and so easy as well, Grace, to operate.
Yeah, so easy. And it gives you a little bit of a break. It gives you that little breather where you're not on camera and you can just kind of like, so I like that. And then you can add an intro and an outro. It makes it really easy to just have this really awesome professional setup. And then we have a record only feature. So you don't have to go live, right? You can use this as a recording studio. So you're talking about getting started and being confident. That's a good way to practice your live show, right? Is you hit the record button and you see yourself. And then you can repurpose the content. You can publish it as a live video later. I've had the moment where I've been interviewing someone and I forgot to press record. We had to redo the whole show.
Oh, wow.
So, I just kind of was like, we just laughed about it and moved on, because that's how live video is. You kind of just laugh about it and you're just like, okay, I guess we're doing this again. So
that's brilliant. Grace, what do you think about the intro and outro? When people do they count down before they go live, do you think that that's a good idea to have in order to get, because sometimes some people go live and they're waiting for people to come in, whereas actually it's that first 10 to 30 seconds to really grab the attention of your audience, right? So what do you think about that intro of the countdown?
That is a big controversy, and everyone has different opinions. I like using the countdown timer. You don't have to go 60 seconds. You can even go like 10 seconds, right? You can create your own countdown timers. But I've noticed that on different channels, it'll go live. Like something will go live on Facebook and it'll just be a delay for getting it on. So it just allows you, people know that you're there, you're about to come on. You don't have to make it too long, but it does allow for all the platforms to kind of catch up. And so you're going live. So they don't miss the first part of your show. I know a lot of people will do like an intro and then they'll do their ad, like their little intro ad, or their intro for the show music. And so that's another way to do it. I think it just gives it a nice buffer. I mean, I wouldn't go more than 10 seconds with it, just to give, but it does give you that little buffer so that all the platforms catch up.
I love that. I think it looks really good when some people do it and they've made it all branded to their own brand and then everything, haven't they? And then obviously uploaded it into Restream as a video. But I love the fact that you can do that with Restream. It's such a great feature. Although you can, sorry, go for it, Grace. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say you can also so once the video is done, you can trim that out so that if someone's watching the replay, they don't have to wait that time. And so it goes right into your show. So it is good for live, but then you can always trim it down, change it, update it for your replay audience.
Love that. So if anyone's watching live at the moment, we are speaking about live streaming with the lovely Grace Duffy from Restream. Do put in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you're watching the replay, still feel free to engage. Or if you're listening to the podcast, then please do put at the bottom of the blog and comment, or reach out to us on Twitter or Facebook or the other platforms, because we would love to hear from you. So, Grace, in terms of the different, we've spoken about the different features of Restream and what your favourite one is. What has Restream got coming up? And do you think that they bring out, because on Live Producer, they've got like featured link and you can attach link to raise donations. Do they have that feature at the moment, or do you think it's something that they might actually might look at in terms of that if people are watching live, there's an option to click on a link. I know you can put in a caption, but I'm not too sure whether you can put clickable links or not in the caption.
No, I don't believe so. And I think those features you're talking about are tied to the platforms themselves.
Oh, okay.
And so, so I don't know that would necessarily be on that would necessarily be part of Studio. But I say that, and we're always innovating. So, and we do listen to what our customers want. So I'm not going to say that it's never going to be there.
No, it's always great. It's always great to hear, though. And you know what? The other thing you can do is when you've gone live, you can go back in and edit your Facebook post to then put your clickable link at the top or put it in the comments for people to see. So, you know, I think Restream has already got some amazing features, but it's always good to, I love watching the YouTube video webinar they do each week to find out what's going on and what things are coming up. So that's always really good to hear.
Yeah, we have one tomorrow, actually. Not tomorrow, sorry, Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I think it's noon my time, so it would be probably, what would be noon my time? Oh, it'd be 6 your time. So
6 our time. I'll look out for it and make sure I share it out.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about our recording feature and the new features. And so it'll be Anya, who is the head of influencer marketing, and Gustavo, who is our head of customer success. And so it's going to be an amazing show on Wednesday.
Oh, brilliant. I can't wait to see it. I'll be watching in. Also, Grace, what if people was to say, what's the free things that you would suggest to get started? You know, if you could give free things on where to get started with live streaming and lives, what would you say?
I would say start small. You know, I think people get really overwhelmed with the idea of doing a live show. I have to do it forever. Or, how am I going to come up with all these topics? And I say, commit to a 6-show series, like 6 shows. Come up with 6 shows or 12 shows or 10 shows or whatever, you know, and then see how it goes. And then from there, plan your next 6 shows. And then and I find sometimes, I don't know if you have this, but, you know, we have these TV shows that go on forever and they're like, this ended 5 seasons ago. But, you know, and I think having a beginning, middle, end, right? So let's say that you want to talk about just how to go live on Facebook, right? And then you do like 6 episodes of how to go live from Facebook, from step 1 to step 2 to step 3. And then you have yourself, like, you have a plan, you have an end goal, you know what you're doing. And it kind of helps to have that little roadmap. So I say start small, run experiments of shorter content. So I know YouTube has shorts, Instagram has stories, TikTok is TikTok, you know, Facebook has, you know, they've been experimenting with their own short form video content, right? So everything from 30 minutes. I know TikTok just recently said that they're going to 3 minutes, but, you know, about 60 seconds, and start practicing going live like 60 seconds at a time, right? And just find those little things and find out what resonates with your audience, right? Like, oh man, that video on Facebook, that 1-minute video on Facebook that I did, like, really took off. I should do a whole series on this, right? The head of our team, Anya, does on her LinkedIn account, she will just go live and just talk about new products. And they're like very short videos. She does them in the office studio, and they're really well done. They're very short, succinct. She has got one thing that she needs to talk about. She's in, she's out. And it's been amazing. It's amazing that she does them, right? And then you just start getting used to just creating smaller content.
And people expect to see her doing it as well, because if it's like consistent and they see her, they're thinking, oh, okay, she's going to talk about product development. She's going to talk about new things that are launching. Sounds fab.
And then I just say tech gear. I know you can go crazy buying all the tech gear, right? I certainly did this past year. But, you know, there's really 5 things. I know you only asked for 3 things, but there's 5 things you really need to get started. A microphone, a decent microphone. It doesn't have to be top of the line. I bought this one that I have on Amazon a few years ago, and it's still working great. I added this sound guard on it, right? Headphones. So, you know, there's often a delay. It could be a few seconds, but so it really helps to be plugged in with headphones. And I have this from Amazon. So
Wow.
yeah, they're just clear and they go behind my ears. And then, we have and then people will have the big studio ones. So I
Yeah,
have those as well. Right. So just having a good set of headphones, camera. I have a decent Logitech. I think it's a C920 that you can buy them anywhere, really. I think they were sold out last year. I can't imagine why. But so just a decent webcam, lighting. So I just got an Elgato key light this past year, but for the longest time I used this technology called a window that
yeah.
I sat next to.
Oh, I'm the same. And I have to put my blind down. It's just
Yeah.
terrible in terms of the light makes me look like really different to when I then pull it down and the room's completely like black in here.
Yeah, but just a simple lamp. You just want the light on your face, right? A key
Yeah.
light that you can get on a simple key light that all the YouTubers use.
Yeah.
Just like something like that, and then a solid internet connection. So
Yeah.
Restream is browser based. All you need is a solid internet connection.
Yeah.
Um, to have solid uploads and download speeds, and those are the basic things. So I would just say, don't even go crazy. The best camera you have is the one that you have. The best mic
Yeah.
you have is the one that you have, and just start going live. And don't let not having the studio set up hinder you. I did not have all this. This
Yeah.
came years and weeks at a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
And it does look great. I love your backdrop. It looks very
thank you.
professional. You've got a great camera. And what I'll do, everyone, if you're listening in, I'll reach out to Grace afterwards and just maybe get a few of the links of the things that she does use that maybe I can share with you.
Of course.
Because I know that'd be really useful to the audience, Grace. So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was great. I think that's really great content for people, especially if they want to get started. I think that, many, many people want to get started on live streaming and not knowing where to start or what to do, is really important. Lots of people say to me, what is the optimal time? And I love the fact that you said, just try for 60 seconds, try for 5 minutes, just try to see what your audience resonate with.
Mhm.
I've always been told that, it's between 10 and 18 minutes because the longer you're on there, the more you're keeping people occupied. But I love the thought of doing it for like 60 seconds and just dropping in. And I think I'm really going to try that as well, Gracie. You've given me something to do as well.
Well, I'm glad. Sorry I
Yeah.
added to your to-do list, but it does
That's
make
all
it
right.
easy. Yeah. So, and then the beauty thing with live is that, you go live, but then it stays up there,
Yeah.
right? But also live video creates a sense of urgency. So we mentioned the live product demo and Q&A that we do. So we send out an email announcing it, right? And
Yeah.
every single week I get a handful of emails saying like, I'm going to miss it. I have a meeting. I'm going to miss it. I'm sleeping. I'm going to miss it,
You've got
whatever.
a community there.
Right. And then, but so it's not a give. They always ask, is there a replay? And of course, in my mind, I'm like, of course there's a replay,
Yeah.
right? But that's not a given, right?
No.
So going live also gives people that sense of urgency. And then being able to catch the replay is a bonus. So,
And that's what lots of people miss out on as well, is that when they go live, they're just going live out on their platforms, but actually emailing your list before you go live. And because now you can actually share a link to where your lives are streaming via Facebook. So you could just share that link in an email newsletter to your audience and just say, look, going live shortly, would love you to join me if you've got any burning questions.
Yeah.
And it really does, again, help with that awareness and getting it out to more people. I think that's amazing and great content as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, no, it's great. So some really great stuff there, Grace. Is there anything else that you really want, like you'd really love to share about live streaming? Because I could talk to you all day about it.
I could probably talk to you all day. Are there any questions from the audience that we can address?
There's none at the moment. If anyone's listening in and you've just joined us, we're talking about live streaming with the lovely Grace Duffy from Restream. So if you've got any questions, please do put them in the chat box. We'd love to answer them. If you're listening to the replay, feel free to just comment below this particular video. If you listen to the podcast, reach out to us on Twitter, on Facebook. I'll put our social media profiles in the show notes, so you're always welcome to reach out. If you want to know more about Restream, I'll put the link in there as well, where you can contact the lovely Restream team, which I think are just brilliant. I love it. I've got a pro account of this. And do you know what I love about this, Grace? I found an app on the phone called Streamlabs, and it streams from Restream through Streamlabs that I can now
Mhm.
wherever I go, I don't have to be at my desktop. I can
Mhm.
still use Restream and
Yeah,
go
absolutely.
live across all of my platforms. It's amazing. I love
Absolutely. I love it. So yeah, trust me, a mobile version of a mobile version of StreamYard of our Restream studio. Sorry, I got tongue tied there.
it.
Is on the horizon. We
Yeah,
are, it is something that we get asked about a lot because people do like going
yeah,
live a lot, and a lot of the platforms are really focused on having a mobile first experience,
yeah, yeah.
especially. So that is something that is on the horizon.
Yeah, which is great. It's a great opportunity, and I think lots of people are definitely using more live, and it's going to be the new way of. Well, it's not the new way because it's been out for so many years. We said
Yeah.
2015, I think you said, right? So 6 years we've been streaming.
Yeah.
So it's great that things are developing for everyone to use.
Absolutely.
So
Well, this past year has been definitely the year of live
yeah,
streaming. I think it has, I mean, everywhere from workouts to worship services to school to work, everything went live. And so I think people were we didn't even have the technology,
yeah,
6 years ago, right? I remember having to do a live show and we would be on this thing and we'd have to connect with our video
yeah.
person to wirecast it to all these other places. And I mean,
It was
just with
complex.
so complicated. Oh my gosh, so complicated. But it's just so easy. You get on live and you
Yeah,
click all the platforms you want to go on, and it just makes it so easy. And I think that you're going to see the future of e-commerce is going to be
yeah,
live, the
yeah.
future of
Wow.
marketing, future
That
of
obviously live
content.
shopping's gonna be coming available, and I suppose you're already doing that already with Amazon, but,
Yeah,
how great is live shopping gonna be? Here, us in the UK haven't got that yet, right? Where
yeah,
you can now go live and tag in products. How amazing is that gonna be for network marketers, for brands? It's just gonna be brilliant. Um,
absolutely.
I just can't wait for live shopping. I'm really looking forward to that. Not that I've got a product, or I have got a product, I've got a journal, but I need
Right,
more products to sell, especially if live shopping's coming. I'd love
right.
to be do a reenactment of those the shopping channels.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Well, that is something where like it is very focused on uh, stockable, shippable products right now
yeah,
because it's kind of just like easy to conceive, to think about. But I think once they allow you to do services and more digital products on there, and
yeah,
there are ways that you can do live shopping without necessarily having the payment feature
yeah, yeah.
embedded in there. There's a lot of ways that you can still continue to do live selling, even if they're not necessarily
That's
paying on the
really good.
platform.
Yeah, that's really good, and that's going to be a real benefit for a lot of businesses right now, I think.
Absolutely.
But no, that's great. Anything else you want to add? Tell us about how people find out about Restream, Grace, because I think if they don't use it, they need to go and check it out because I think it's a
Oh,
great platform.
yeah, absolutely. So you can check us out at restream.io and you can quickly see how to get started. We also have a YouTube channel. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a whole lineup of live video experts and pros talking about different ways that you can use the Restream studios, everything from creating graphics to how to be confident. We have a show right now with Ian Anderson Gray about how to use a live video to create a podcast, and it takes you from like
Yeah,
beginning to end. He previously ended a series on how to be confident on camera. A lot of it was focused on mindset and just getting in, the question you asked me about how do you be confident on
yeah,
camera.
yeah, yeah,
We also have a wonderful show on how to use video ads
yeah, yeah.
to use ads to market your show. So there's a lot there that you can learn from. And we also have on Facebook, an amazing Restream community. You just find that by looking up restream.community. It has everything from pros to beginners and everything in between. It's a great resource if you're getting started with live video to ask your questions. I would say that so far no question has gone unanswered in there.
Good.
It's a very well monitored, well managed, um, just a really great resource if you are interested in live streaming.
I love the shows that Restream do. I just love watching those and the amount of knowledge that's there. And even when you're listening, you've still got the team in the chat as well, answering the questions
Yep.
in there as well that might not necessarily, like you say, every question gets answered. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been using Restream for probably the last year when when the pandemic, when we had lockdown here in the UK, Restream was definitely a way for me to really engage, and it was a way
Mhm.
that I used it for many live shows because I love the fact that you could use graphics and stuff like that. So I
Absolutely.
love that.
And we also have live human 24/7 support. So when you're in the Restream studio, there's a little chat icon on the bottom, and within 5 minutes, a actual Restream person will talk to
Love
you about whatever it is that you're having trouble with. We have team members all over the world, so there is no downtime. Like, they are
that.
constantly answering questions. And I like to say that if it's been asked, it's been answered. So we also have all of our help logs of, you could search up whatever question you have and probably find the answer because it's been answered before. But if then, we have this amazing team. I know that they help me all the time as I was getting started
That's
at
brilliant.
Restream as an employee. So I can guarantee you that no one is probably as needy as me. So whatever you want to ask them, ask away. They
That's
are
brilliant.
amazing. They're amazing people.
That's brilliant. It's just been great, Grace. I hope we can get you on again. I
Of
mean,
course.
we're coming to the end of the show, but it's been absolutely fantastic, and I'm so grateful for you coming on here and
Oh,
sharing your time and your amazing knowledge. And for those of you that are listening in or watching the replay or listening to the podcast, go and check Grace out. She is fabulous. I love watching her, and do check her out on the social media news at the Social Media Examiner. Do it as well. She is fantastic on there, along with Michael. So do check that out. Grace, just lastly, just remind me of the website, but also maybe your handle, your social media handle for people to check you out as well.
okay. The best place to find me and probably where I'm most responsive is LinkedIn. So you can find me at Grace H. Duffy on LinkedIn. And if you want to catch me live on Fridays, it is Social Media News Live. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and on Amazon Live. And my co-host Jeff C. and I love doing the show. We love our audience. We'd love for all of you to join us there, catch up on what's new in social media. And then, of course, check us out on the Restream channels. Again, the YouTube, the Facebook group, and of course, check out our website. And we would love to see everyone go live. I want to see all of your shows.
Yeah, and let us know when you go live as well in the comments, and we'll come and support you. Um,
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Grace. And for those of you that listen to the podcast, I'll put all of the details in the show notes so you can check that out as well. Grace, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. And for those of you that are watching in, I just want to say thank you all for listening. Feel free to share this with any of your friends, your colleagues that would find this helpful. You've been listening to The Trust Show, the social media show with Zoe and amazing guests. We've been accompanied by the lovely Grace Duffy from Restream today, and I'm looking forward to having many more guests as well. This was episode 9, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. So take care for now, everyone. Bye.
Bye.